Hey guys, we're back with another GMC project today. This one fortunately is not blown up. It has a check engine light on for knock sensor. I think it's bank 2, but we're going to replace both knock sensors and the harness, and that should clear the code and allow this thing to pass inspection. So I think these are all the same, like 2000, 2006, 5.3. We're real close to this. This is a Yukon XL, which is extra large or extra long, I'm not sure which, but this should be the same for the Chevy version, the Suburban, Tahoe, Yukon, probably trucks of this vintage. So anyway, we will get in here. Let's bring you a little closer. So from what I understand, this cover's got to come off, this tube has to come off, disconnect the fuel rail, pull the entire intake manifold off, and the knock sensors are down in the valley underneath here. So let me get you set up, get some tools, and we'll get going on this. Alright, hopefully we can get this done before the outdoor power equipment starts up and all the noise. So here we go. Get this tube loose. Make sure you can see that. Mass airflow meter comes off. Actually, I don't need to take the mass meter, just this intake tube. I cheated and I looked this up a little bit. I saw that this thing has to come off. I know we take the throttle body loose, so we'll take that next. I think most of this stuff is going to be 8mm and 10mm. There are 3 nuts on studs holding this thing on. Pop these harness connectors off here, because this harness apparently has got to all stay in here. So you kind of fish all this out from underneath. I'm going to go ahead and pop those off too. So I got this throttle body kind of pulled off. There's a hose underneath. I'm going to try to leave that thing because it's really hard to get to, and I'm afraid it's going to crack. There's 3 bolts that hold this little bracket on, so that kind of gets that kind of loose. Let's go look for wiring harness connectors. So all this harness is attached all the way around. There's a 10mm. There. Holding that on. Alright. Way back under here is another harness connector. Way up on top. Let's not forget that one, that's probably important. There's one here. Okay. One up here. I know you can't see it. Most of these have been really easy up until this point. Let's see what I'm missing. Tell you what, it's like there's an 8 holding that. Kind of a weird little shoulder bolt thing. That hole looks like some kind of purge solenoid maybe. Just leave that bad boy attached. Okay. All the harness stuff I see. I did read the need to unhook the brake booster connector. Alright. Big time in the way. I'll try to get you a little better angle. We'll move over to this side. And start working on fuel disconnecting. Next, pop this little cover off. Bleed the fuel pressure off right here. If there's even any residual pressure in it. Apparently not. Okay. So, let's see here. So, injector rails, I guess, come out with the manifold, so we'll have to figure out how these unhook. There we go. So this gray piece pulls up, and then you press in on the black piece. I say that. Oh. Alright, so both connectors just broke off the heater core hoses. We'll see what we have to do there. It looks like it just disintegrated. Yep, it's the little nipple that goes into the hose, so we'll be researching and repairing that as part of this project, but based on how that looked, that thing wasn't going to last long anyway. You have to pull that gray piece up and press that little tab just so. Oh, now it's easy. Now they broke some stuff. Alright, so there's the 4 fuel injectors unhooked from this side. Now, of course it won't fit. This probably won't fit either. That's loose. We've found part of the cover washer under there. Alright, we'll go around the other side and unhook those fuel injectors and see what's next. Unhooked. Now I'm going to go for the fuel lines. Hopefully you can see these. They are right here. It's got this little metal clip that keeps it from popping off, and then use this disconnect tool, which is supposed to push in and release it. Supposed to is being the key word. There we go. Okay, I finally got the fuel line disconnected from the other side, and I think I have everything unhooked over there. Now there's 5 of these 8mm headed bolts. Looks like down each side. The other side is completely buried in junk, so you can't see it. But I got all those, and they appear to be captured, so they won't come out, which is probably good, because then they won't end up down in the intake runner. We can pull this thing off. So I would use a longer extension, but it makes it difficult to get to those back ones. Come on. Okay, look at that, it's loose. Now, just got to figure out how to wrestle this thing out of here. It supposedly comes out this way under all this other junk. Let's see how that goes. Alright, so here's our EGR pipe. I'm going to pull that tube out of the way. So this is our EGR, and this pipe goes in right there. So let's see if I can get that thing unhooked. Alright, we're this far. This tube, I don't know if it's a purge, breather or something, it's getting in the way, so you gotta fish that back behind the fuel rail. Get that thing out of the way, and fish the brake booster hose out of there. And there she is. Shop vac out and get all that junk out of there, and then we'll go after the sensors. Alright, there's all that noisy equipment I promised you. So the first connector came off fairly easy, almost like it wasn't even connected. The next one just disintegrated, and it is, and I'll show you. It's pretty crusty down in there. So get the vacuum out again, and then I'll get those things out of there, and we'll come back and put the new ones in, clean this up. I did get a new harness because this thing is like rock solid too. Just have to, I may just cut this one off to get it out from underneath. I think this is a steam vent pipe, and I think it'll be fine for the new one to run over it. And so here it goes. I'm going to suck that out and come back and pull it out. It's a 22 millimeter head on these. Ooh. And the torque spec I've looked up is 15 pound-feet. That one acted like it was taking some threads with it. There you go, and you wonder why that doesn't work. Looks perfectly fine to me. Yeah, it was just as crusty. Vacuum time. There's what a new one looks like. I put a dab of anti-seize on there. Just on general principle, I doubt these things will ever fail again. I can't imagine this truck living another 17 years. So, let's get them started by hand. Torque wrench set to 15 pound-feet. Turn the torque wrench back to 0. The reason you don't just nail those down in there is there's a, I think it's called a piezoelectric crystal in there that's sensitive to pressure. So when this thing knocks or vibrates, it causes a vibration, and that turns into an electrical signal which the ECU can read and back off the spark timing typically. So kind of like a microphone. So let's see here. Where is the new harness? Got a new harness to go in. Ran around the back, so I guess it's color coded to go in that way. The connector just pops on, and a little rubber plug. I'm gonna spray something on there to help that thing. harness runs around the back and connects up here. Make sure that's on. Yeah. Double check the front one. Alright, I'm going to spray some WD or something on there to help them go in. Here's the bottom of this intake. I'm just going to wipe off the gaskets. I think they'll be fine when they go back on. So there's foam in here, I guess, for noise proofing. Looks like it's also water holding. I'm going to take the back piece out. I think what happens, so you get a little, probably get some condensation, that kind of thing that gets trapped down in that valley, or if you have any water leakage, gets in there and it can't get out, corrodes everything. So I'm going to leave the back open. That way if anything does get in there, it can supposedly run out. I'm not going to bother sealing those rubber plugs. They're actually good and pliable. I believe they'll seal just fine. Alright, got everything wiped off, and now it's time to wrestle that thing back in there. I'll save you some of that. Alright, so that thing's back in there, and now we need to tighten the bolts. I checked everything and was starting the process when I realized one of them was missing, the one in the back here. So these things appear to be captured, but they will come out. So I had to pull this back out, and there it was laying in the valley. At least it wasn't down an intake runner. So, how they come out. You can't get them out when you want them, but I gotta get this thing back in the hole. There we go. There's a torque sequence on these. First step is 44 inch-pounds. We're going to go with 50 because that's as low as this inch-pound torque wrench will go, which is not much. So the sequence is kind of like you would think. It's kind of circular. Start at the inside, work your way out. Probably need a longer extension on this side, or a straight socket. So you go around and do them to 44, and then the next step is 89 inch-pounds. We'll bring it back when that's done. Got the intake torque down, and now it's just pretty much, I guess, reassembly, reverse, or removal. So let's put some stuff back together. Get this throttle body put back on. Figure out how nice it was. Sure there's these three nuts right here. So I guess I need to kind of rearrange this little setup a little bit. I guess that's right. There we go. Okay. Now let's somewhere back here. That's our new knock sensor harness, and it comes with a little metal clip even. So that thing somehow pops on here. Like that. Alright, that's back in business. Say it is, come on. There we go, now let's do it. This, I believe, is our evap purge solenoid. You have to kind of fish that back through and you put it back in. So that goes right there. And let's see what bolt that was. I think it was this one. Connector, these two go down here in the throttle body, and there's a purple one on the bottom. Right. Now let's work on this EGR pipe. This thing's rigid, so you gotta kind of bend it back into shape. It has, let's see, it just had one bolt. What did I do with it? Alright, we'll figure out what I do with that bolt. We'll get that thing back in there. And then we have all our injector plugs. They snap on. Well, got this little child resistant lock that goes down in here. Not sure how that thing came out of there. Period. That's right, that's over it. Alright, anyway, I'll have to fix that plug. And it pretty much slides down in, snaps, and then this child-proof thing pushes it down the rest of the way. I guess it's so it doesn't inadvertently come off. There we go. I'm going to need some more height for the back one, but you get the picture. I got everything, I believe, reconnected other than the fuel lines. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see this, but they are supposed to just slide right on, like a quick connect. And then this little safety clip that goes on there, which I guess keeps it from coming off, although much of a pain as they were to get off, can't imagine them disconnecting themselves. Alright, so brake booster, where is it? All these brackets are back on. Now, let me back you back out. I guess you could see it. Alright. damage here. Figured out where this went too. This vehicle has new shocks on it, and apparently one of the old ones ended up on the engine, so that's not mine. So, where these heater hoses disconnected themselves, I need to figure out, there's some kind of quick connect thing on there. I gotta figure out how to pop that off, and hopefully I can buy that piece locally and not at the dealer, because I'm probably running out of time for the dealer. So, let's get on that. Part of the unintended damage, this is where the connector broke off going to the heater core. So I got the other side finally fixed. Take the clamp off. And then what I had to do here was pretty much just crush the remaining piece of hose that was in there and kind of dump the pieces out. So let's do that. Of course, that lawnmower wasn't going till about 30 seconds ago, so sorry for that background noise. Okay, so we got these little goodies from the auto parts store, and the other one was a huge pain to get on there. Someone had stolen the clip out of one of these, but for whatever reason I can't get the clips off the other one, off the other fitting, so the hell with it, it'll stay. Alright, so on the other one, here's what I did. And put the clamp on and slid the hose down in. A little bit of motor oil down in there to help it go on. And you have to kind of clock the ears on this clamp so it'll line up properly. That's the problem I had with the other one. For whatever reason, this little stack of O-rings doesn't really want to fit over that. So what I did on the first one, I took that whole stack out of there. There's a beveled plastic piece, an O-ring, smaller plastic piece, and another O-ring. Is I went ahead and put them on separately. Big plastic, O-ring, small plastic, final O-ring. Actually use the socket, kind of help square all that up, push it down. Now we'll see if this thing will go on. Alright, that's on there. So, intake tube. that. Find my 8. Figure out where this breather went and get it back, because I don't recall unhooking that. It's up here. It's got flopped down out of the way. There's the throttle body. It just pushes on. All right. Tighten up over here. Alright, pick up some stuff and then we'll start her up. Alright, so this is not a rewind. Put it all back together and I had the vacuum leak somewhere, so, and still had the knock sensor code, so I'm going to recheck those while I have it apart again. And these gaskets don't like to be reused, so I got new ones. And there is considerably more cross section there, so maybe these would have worked, but I guess after being flattened for 17 years, odds of resealing aren't very good, especially something this dirty. So I'm going to clean all this up and clean everything in the valley up and go back with new gaskets, and hopefully that solves everything. Okay, it's all back together. Let's see what it sounds like. See if it starts this time. Alright, much better. Now we'll take it for a drive and see how we ended up. Thanks for watching, subscribing. Yeah, I don't know about that. So this turned into a little more than I expected, but we got a little bonus hose repair, and we know that if you decide to do one of these, you might as well spend the $50 and get some new manifold gaskets. Anyway, thanks for watching, subscribing, and we'll catch you on the next one.